with tonight is Donald Trump. Donald is so unhappy. See,
I love that
Twitter fact-checked him.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, they fact-checked
his shit.
It was an opinion as well, wasn't it? Because it was his opinion that
it'll create more voter fraud. He also posted. Well, he didn't quite state it as an opinion. No, he also stated about a guy that possibly killed his wife. Who according to medical experts, did not kill his wife. So Twitter naturally said, look, this like most of Donald, I mean, how they just chose one, I don't know. What they said, this might not be factually correct. You might want to have a look into this yourself. He shat the bed. He's been tweeting out. He's copied in. It was just this evening. If my phone had just... Technology is fucking hating me. Apparently, Cherry's watching, but he can't comment.
Is he one of them maps? He's been blocked. Let's see. It counts in a limited state, lads.
Let's see if I can just find this tweet, because it is a corker. Here we go. Oh no, he's been tweeting quite a lot since I've read that. Hold on.
No, it's all right. Whilst you're looking for it, there are a couple of interesting points. Go on.
So ridiculous to see Twitter trying to make the case that mail-in ballots are not subject to fraud. They didn't say they're not, but they did say it's not widespread, as did the Trump Commission's investigation into mail-in fraud. How stupid. There are examples and cases all over the place. Our election process will become badly tainted and a laughingstock, all one word, all over the world. Tell that to your hater at Yo-Yo. Now, Yo-Yo, I didn't know this. He is head of site integrity at Twitter.
Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah, the guy that tweets about him being a Nazi.
He's the head of... So, really, just lots of unhappiness. But he did say, he'd even consider giving her a proper talking to. But I imagine he's been told that you can't do anything about Twitter, Mr. President. They can't hand it off on the FCC. They don't want it. They don't want anything to do with it.
This is the interesting thing, though, because the article they linked to was an opinion piece. It wasn't an actual fact check. It was just it was another opinion, which is perfectly valid.
Yes, you're allowed to have fine. It.
But the issue is,
it was just a link. It's how he presents the information.
Yeah, I know, but here's the thing, though. This has now led to there's a draft executive order that's leaked that's intended to clarify, 230, the Communications Act over there, because obviously they get protections, and what they get protections under, as you're well aware, is if someone else posts to your site. So if we put something on triggerwarning.tv, that article is our publication, but we can't be sued for any comments. Oh, well, Last Dance, the only one I saw was a draft one. It might have changed since then. I don't know. That's fine. But, we can't be sued for comments, and that in itself is a very, very good thing. But what they did to Trump's tweet was editorialize it. He wasn't doing anything that was breaking the law. He didn't actually tweet anything. As arsey as he was, the tweet that they've put the CNN fact check on wasn't a 230 violation. It wasn't like
actually, strictly speaking, that is not editorializing.
Of course, it is
not. No.
They've changed what he put out.
Editorializing, adding information. For example, if someone commented on Trigger Warning, and I said that's bullshit, I am in no way editorializing their comment. Even if I add into their comment that it's very tricky. If dictionary definition, yes. Legally, no. And this is where it's important to be very, very, very clear, because they are still platforms and not publishers.
Well, this is exactly what the executive order is there now to clarify, because strictly speaking, under the words of 230, they don't have a place, because it wasn't grossly offensive, it wasn't overly aggressive, it wasn't any of the things that are specifically covered. And we all know They'd sort of adjust the terms of services after the event and stuff. And you know, I'm not going to go through the entire thing now.
I have to say, I think
this order is very interesting. Go on. The
only thing Twitter have fucked up on is they did it to the wrong tweet. There were a million tweets by that man that are literally full of shit.
They could have done it. They could have done it one-to-one that was very much within the 230 thing of because, and this is the problem with 230 is it literally says good faith. You know that companies must act in good faith, and that's the problem at the moment because that is such a murky territory. So you know. I think the idea now is to clarify it with the FTC, which is a fucking nightmare, you know, like.
Well, the FCC don't want any say on social media. They've made that clear.
Well, yeah, but it's going to be
the
tough,
FCC want to do. They're more interested in killing net neutrality, as we know, so they can fuck everyone at once, not just a few sites here and there. They want to go after everybody. But the only thing I see here is the Donald is now aware of Twitter not being his friend. And I think he will do what he does to get his own way. Now, this could be very interesting because I've long said that Facebook and Twitter are publishers, not platforms.
Yeah. Well, they have been acting as so, yeah. I mean, not just the Donald Trump tweet. There's literally tens of thousands of examples. Like, you know, for example, someone writing Tommy Robinson, just writing Tommy Robinson on a Facebook thing and publishing that to their page, and they then get that removed. That is not a platform that are then removing the words Tommy Robinson. That is editorializing. That is publishers. They're not covered.
It depends what's in their rules. You would literally have to have it in your rules. Like, for example, I can only say if on LiveLeak, someone links to a website repeatedly, I can call it spam and remove it.
That's totally understood. Yeah,
exactly. But if someone just posts Tommy Robinson and I say, gets a bit trickier. However, we do have a caveat, and we have it on trigger warning, and most websites do have a caveat. This is a private website. We reserve the right to remove any content.
Yeah,
we wish. Can be anything. Now, you don't, but you have to have that there, in my opinion, just to be transparent and open. But what Twitter have done for a long time, the fact check thing is the least editorial thing they've done, because real editorializing comes in hiding, removing, and shaping the narrative, the flow of information, what people are allowed to see, what they see. Their very feeds are editorializing. The way their sites work is editorializing because its only goal is to keep you there. They would have been better off banning Donald Trump than fucking with his tweets. Seriously.
I agree with you.
And in fact, less damaging for them. It would have been less damaging for them in the long run if they just banned him. But they haven't, and I think this is going to get very, very interesting. I know just shutting them down isn't something he can do, as much as I'm sure he probably said it a couple of times.
Well, I mean, Trump needs Twitter just like Twitter needs Trump, though. There isn't, you know, people go on Twitter to read Trump's tweets, and Trump certainly gets his message out there. He sidesteps the media, he sidesteps his press team. He goes straight on Twitter and threatens North Korea or whatever.
I'm not sure how that stands, Last Dance, because if you say they're a publisher, the responsibilities change completely. It's not a blanket freedom of speech issue. Twitter can say what they want. Again, it's so easy to simplify this because you get people like Brian Rose from London Real. I'm a free speech absolutionist. Absolute freedom of speech at all times. Deletes comments like a fucking lunatic.
Oh, I hate that so much.
You know, I mean, freedom of opinion. But you've got to be open and say, no, you know what? If you're being if you're harassing someone, I might ban you. No, I'm an absolutist. That's it. Well, you block all this. David Icke. Nothing's more important than the free flow of information. No one should be silenced. His forums are quite strictly moderated, and I don't just mean along the form of rules. I mean people that have perhaps said, I'm not sure about this one. You know, just So we see it all the time, this kind of blatant hypocrisy. So you can't just say it's a freedom of speech issue where a massive publisher is concerned, like Twitter. And also, Twitter and Facebook are far beyond the scope of just some small website like Liveleak, or even smaller site like Trigger Warning, where the impact is negligible. Facebook and Twitter have a monopoly on these things, along with YouTube.
Yeah. And these rules, the thing is, whatever's decided here might very well trickle down to the likes of us on our website. I think, though...
Yeah, no, they do have First Amendment rights. I think what you're missing is publishers have a huge raft of legislation and responsibility that platforms do not.
That's the thing. That legally they are not publishers. That's the point. Twitter is legally not a publisher, and yet, like this is where the problems come, and the law isn't clear. And this is what the executive order is apparently going to investigate into, is clarifying it, because they're not a publisher; they're a platform. Because I create that tweet, I create that content, and I'm liable if I say something illegal. Strictly speaking, I'm liable, not them. That's what makes them a platform and not a publisher. So yeah, there's First Amendment, there's free speech, but free speech and First Amendment gets a bit wavy when you're talking about user-created content. So
that was my whole point. A platform, when you just said they're covered by the freedom of speech, yes, they are, but they have massive responsibilities. Freedom of speech does not include you fucking with somebody else's content and then saying, "But platform."
But then there's
editorializing.
But then there's a thing like fucking Kathy Griffin is just openly calling for doxing, and she's being investigated by the FBI, and yet the tweets are still up there. But you write "learn to code," and you'll get banned.
We do know that there is a tremendous left bias on these platforms. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Documented and demonstrated.
How can you be banned for telling someone not to code? And what I love is when the mainstream media rubbish the idea. It's a far right trope that they're doing. That's because you're on the fucking left, you bellends. Yeah.
Everyone's far right to you, you fucking idiots. But I mean, well, a good example I've seen come up was, do you remember Zuby? You know, the women's weightlifting champion. He's got a cock. He's fucking hilarious. Someone tweeted at him, and he replied, "Okay, dude." He didn't check the bio or whatever, and he got a suspension. I think like 12 hours or 24 hours or something like that. And his has been a big example that people have put up, because if you go through, and I don't have it on the top of my head right now, if you go through the exact wording of what Section 230 gives you an allowance to jump in on. You know, so if, like you said, if someone's spamming or harassing, if someone's actually demonstratively harassing someone, then under 230, you have the ability to go in there with good faith and get rid of those tweets, block that person, etc. But Zuby wrote, "Okay, dude," and got suspended. And that's been a big example that I've seen going around, because there was nothing illegal in what he said. There was nothing, you know, you might not have liked it. You might have then clicked on the thing and go, wait, there are they, them.
Yeah, but you know how Twitter justify that. You know, they justify that. So we can say that it's not illegal. It doesn't matter. They prescribe that as harmful.
Yes, exactly.
End of. Now, here's the thing. I would normally fight for any sites, right, to do any damn thing they fucking please. Because if you've got a site that's all about Disney movies, you don't want some complete fucking knobhead on there sharing gore videos, okay?
Yeah.
However, when you monopolize the space, which Twitter do, which Facebook does, which YouTube does, all of a sudden there are responsibilities when you start shaping the narrative. So that's all it is. It's their rules, and they're going, we're a platform, these are our rules. But obviously, what they're doing and what they've done over the years, and a lot of people may not have noticed it or seen it, is the way they behaved trickles down. If people become activists and get Twitter to change, you can be damn sure they're going to come after your site if you're smaller. And it's trickled down. Advertisers have gone really, really fucking strange over the last few years. It's like, well, people have complained. How many? 3? Well, doesn't matter. You know, everything's become Twitter-centric to the way these people think. And it's trickling down to web hosts, you know, to ISPs, to everything. You know, Twitter is a platform, as Greg Topples pointed out there. And I rant about it frequently. You know, if you say, okay, dude, you're banned for 24 hours, but they've got people on there advocating fucking kids. You know, they've got people advocating violence.
Yeah, they've got Antifa on there, openly
bigotry, race, all these things, but they pick and choose as to what will best appease what they perceive to be their most important audience, and the one that matches perhaps their feelings on the matter the most. And that's the problem. It's incredibly hard to run a platform and try to keep everyone down the middle, because nobody's impartial in real life. So it's very difficult to try and you know what? There's fuck ups, and you get it wrong.
Yeah, there's things, you know, someone might tell an edgy joke, and you know, like for example, guillotines. Whenever I see someone sharing a guillotine gif at the moment, I just roll my eyes, and I think that genuinely is dangerous rhetoric to be putting around. But loads of people see it and they're like, yeah, you know, and here's the thing, our perspectives don't agree. As far as I'm concerned, the guillotine type people are the you know, apart from being the first ones to fucking die, they're the ones that destroy societies. So when they're all online going, yeah, with the hammer and sickles in the things, and yet we're banning Nazis who aren't actually Nazis, they just, you know, they think men have willies. It's insane to me. Now, this brings us to the interesting point here. Obviously, this is America, but these firms are in America, so what they decide there will echo. Both the Republicans and the Democrats want to scrap 230. We're in a really interesting situation right now. The Democrats are going to kind of half pretend that they don't want Trump to be doing this, but they want it. But there's a different pull at the moment, and there's going to be a war here, because the direction the Republicans, on average, are going is more, if it's legal speech, that should be protected. You know what I mean? You can't delete something if it's legal. Whereas the Democrats actually, on average, not all of them, they're going more in the direction of, no. They want Twitter to have the power to delete whatever the fuck they want and editorialize and do whatever. The same for Facebook and YouTube. All the arguments about, well, YouTube are making money off you, Twitter are making money off your content. So there's got to be some sort of an agreement there. But so there's a war right now. You know, are we going to get a more... Is it going to swing towards free speech, or is it going to swing towards my private company when it suits me? You know, I'm quite interested to see how it all turns out.
I think making a ruling either way on that's incredibly fucking dangerous. Just make them publishers. Finished. Well,
that's the thing.
You're always infringing on someone, aren't you? If you know people say, well, I should have my absolute freedom of speech on your platform, end of. Well, what about my right to run something the way I choose? Doesn't matter. All right, so Baker's not wanting to bake for gay people. Well, that's different. Of course it's different, because you support them. This is where my problems always lie with this. Everyone demands, I want this on your platform. I want this on your platform. Well, where do you draw the line? Because if it's legal and it has to stay, we've all got to welcome maps, zoo files. I think
the issue is, though, you know, like it's not illegal to not wear a shirt, but if an establishment has a sign that says no shoes, no shirt, no service, then that is an agreed thing, isn't it? Now, what we've got at the moment with the likes of Twitter and YouTube, with the way they're writing their terms of service, and it's totally reasonable you have terms of service, the way they're writing them, it's almost as if, you know, a bar says, oh, you've got to be 18 to come in. But then you go in and they say, no, it's 21. You know what I mean? You get to the bar, you ask for a drink, and then they grab you and phone the police. And I think that's kind of what it's like at the moment, where you're going in.
The terms of service on these sites are insane.
Yes.
They're insane. There's no clear, concise set of rules. There just isn't.
It's a lot of weasel words, and it's a lot of, like, you know, it's open to interpretation.
How the fuck do you have feelings in rules?
Oh, wait a second. D-Lo. Thanks, man. Here we go. Let's give you the dildo. D-Lo just subscribed on Twitch. Thank you very much, man.
Well,
thank you very much. I've actually got notifications up. No, we do appreciate it.
How the fuck do you have feelings in rules? How do you have something that's so subjective?
When Zuckerberg was sat there going, well, you know, obviously we've banned hate speech, It's weird because, you know, maybe 1/10 of the people that hear that were like, good. I think maybe 50% of the people that hear that just accept it, not realize. But then there'll be a huge chunk of people going, well, what the fuck does hate speech mean? What does that mean exactly? Because all civil rights that were fought for were hate speech when they first started, you know, and I think people keep forgetting about this. You know, when someone first was arguing that two men should be allowed to be in public together or live together as a couple or interracial people, that was hate speech. That was that, you know, like, so to then ban it, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? And
well,
again,
this is going to hit all of us. Just reading about Trump here. Sorry,
go on.
He has signed an executive order aimed at limiting the broad legal protections enjoyed by social media companies 2 days after he tore into Twitter. We're here today to defend free speech from one of the gravest dangers it has faced in American history, frankly. A small handful of powerful social media monopolies control the vast portion of all private and public communications in the United States. They have unchecked power to censor, restrict, edit, shape, hide, and alter a large sphere of human interaction. They have points of view, he said. I don't know how much of that he wrote himself. The Trump administration hopes the order will eventually set the stage for new regulations on tech platforms such as Twitter and Facebook. Now, Last Dance made a very, very good point. I have no doubt how it will turn out. Twitter AL will get to do what they want. Do you know why? They're that big, they can be sued and they can shrug it off because their income will so far outstrip any legal costs of fighting things. Whereas, because of the way the big guys act, smaller sites will buckle and be fucked. And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
And because of their sheer fuckery, everyone else will suffer. There we go. That's simple as that. Simple as that. You know, their fuckery, we pay.